Welcome, people of the World Wide Web, and like usual, we've got two movie reviews this weekend. So the next one up is Assassin's Club. So this is Henry Golding as an assassin. Didn't even know about this until 2 weeks ago when I saw the trailer and the beginning of the film. It only came out for a week in my cinema, so I had to get on it because I was quite intrigued. And it's an hour and 50 minutes that really could have been a lot shorter there. So I'm going to dive. So anybody who hasn't seen the trailer or anything like this, the premise is it starts off, you have what you assume is a gangster and his daughter. He gets killed. The gangster's daughter is kind of saved by the uncle, and there's an assassin and you don't know who it is. Skip forward so many years, Henry Golding is his assassin. He's doing a job and another assassin tries to take him out and takes the prize. And then basically you learn that somebody very rich has created a contract for 6 kills. So 7 assassins all have been basically pinned against each other. You win $1 million for each person you kill. So if you're the last winner, you get 6 million basically. That's the premise of what it starts. You have Sam Neill. He is also in this as kind of the booking agent for Henry Golding. And there isn't too many people in it. So you follow Henry Golding's character, and obviously he's been targeted by someone. He takes certain people out, and then they're all working together, and it all culminates to this final kind of scene. I don't need to go into too much. That's basically the premise of it. You ain't missing too much. I don't want to add too many twists or turns. Like an Assassin, did it hit the mark? No, it did not. Now, probably underlying of this may have been a good story, but this was not executed in anywhere of a good way. The actors and that they have, Henry Golding has a love interest. The chemistry between them is very few and far between. It didn't really relate to that. Some of the decisions and choices throughout this film just do not make logical sense if you have trained hitmen and women, because there are women in there, working against each other. There are a lot of shaky cam, dark fight scenes. Now, I know this has become quite more popular thing. It's quite a cheap way to do it, and it is absolutely horrendous in this film. The cinema is quite dark anyway. The film is quite dark anyway, and literally, I couldn't tell half the time what was done. They're like fighting punches and stuff, and you kind of get to see him grab somebody, and then I'm like, I don't know what they did. It is, not only is something really darkly lit and you're having fighting and you're having the camera shaking around like this, it just does not work for me. I want to see what's going on, even if it isn't the best of hand-to-hand action. Henry, from what I can tell, Henry Golding did a lot of his own stunts because it looked like him. It didn't. You saw his face in quite a lot of them, and maybe the shaky camera was to make it look faster and a lot more. But for me, it just come across as bad. By the time about the 4th or 5th one at the end of the scene, I was just getting fed up of this. I'm like, I can't see what's going on. It's, you might as well just dim the lights and just have people going, fighting each other. It's absolutely horrendous. The story, as I say, you have this assassin at the beginning, and then you don't really see anything until later on. And when you see later on, it's the daughter has grown up, and she is basically organised this to find out who killed her dad. But then you find out, spoiler alert, I'm going to have to put it up, sorry, but that. So they're in it, so basically, she's done all this to try and find who the killer is, and in the end you find out that it was her uncle, and her uncle's basically going into the power of being like the president or the government or something like that. And she literally blatantly ignores that. She's like, oh yeah, my uncle did it, but I just want to kill the person who killed my dad, the actual assassin, not the person who paid him. Okay then, that's... To me, I don't know. I mean, she comes in quite far. She's kind of linked with one of the assassins who is actually the person who is culprit. The very ending, it kind of boils down to all one scene to Henry Golding walking out in the street, firing a bullet. They get a CG scene and the person is dead, which they then leave it open for something. That was wrong. Sam Neill gets beaten up and stuff and kind of gets tortured, but not. And even that was a bit rubbish. I say just the whole premise of if you're an assassin, the secrecy and stuff, they are rubbish. I mean, the final assassin is supposed he dies of a heart attack, really blatantly, you know, like he doesn't see, you know, there's a few altercations with another assassin, then he goes back to his computer and he's like, oh yeah, this person's now come up and they're dead. And it's like, okay, then it's fine, I'll call my wife and, or call my future wife, the love interest, which I suspected she was something to do with it because I didn't relate to her at all, to bring her back into the picture. And I'm like, do you not want to check the body out, make sure it is a heart attack, make sure, you know, there was no follow through any here, and there is even the fact of each person kills, they have to have their finger cut off and then sent to a mailbox. He doesn't even check that. And even at, say, and there's one point that as a redemption he cuts a finger off someone else, again, dark shaky cam, I couldn't even tell you cut him off, I could hear a cutting noise once, and there's bits like that, and I was like, it's all over the place, it is not clear. Now, it is very much a B, C-list movie, this, and because it isn't clear and all the shaky cam, I say, for me it was just an absolute mess of a film. So I'm going to rate it literally 5 out of 10, and I know that is very generous for me. To be honest, I might have rated it, you know, maybe you know, 4. It's hard. I mean, I would probably want, you know, a 5, I'm happy to buy it and watch it. And to be honest, I would kind of like to see a better version. I think maybe a 4K or maybe a DVD with better lighting and stuff. And maybe that is, when it comes out, it will have better lighting and I can see what's going on. And maybe I might appreciate the fight scenes more and a few other bits. Maybe when it comes out on DVD, the story might have been altered a little bit more. But it was, you know, I mean, to have a few good actors in there, the film that was presented at the cinema was a pile of rubbish in my eyes. I mean, it was not true to any sort of idea that they had, you know, as I say, the premise of like 7 assassins all going against each other. And there have been like an assassin's films in the past, and even you see like go to Assassins, Antonio Banderas and Sylvester Stallone. I thought they gave a more realistic, you know, impression of assassins fighting each other than some of the rubbish. So to me, I have to watch my language there. But yeah, that's what I thought of that. I mean, there's obviously a reason why it has a limited run now. I've watched it right at cinema, as I say. I give it 5 out of 10. I'm not the world's expert, and I don't want to ever kind of, unless I thought it was absolutely I still think it's worth people going to watch it to give their opinions. I don't think unless you have a Cineworld card, or it isn't cheap on DVD, I wouldn't be buying this full price. I say it's a shame because Henry Golding is good. In a way, I kind of feel it was exactly how he's been put with Snake Eyes, the movie, like the story and stuff. There were so many bad points and stuff that it just didn't work. And I mean, it may be the fact that the story was actually brilliant and it's been cut and edited and stuff, and I could be totally wrong. But yeah, it's I won't be going out to buy this anytime soon. If I find it cheap, I will add it to the collection and we'll give it another watch, because that's how I always like to roll, because who knows. But anyway, hope you've liked this movie review of The Assassin's Club. I've been Cypher Sigma. Please do like, comment and subscribe if you do feel wish. Hope you're having a good weekend. I shall see you in the next one.